nah, f all that professional shit. Drake and Co. What you just did was some bitch. I don't give a fuck. And at this point, bro, if you still gassing up Drake,
and you ain't black.
It's like that, bro.
Drake, please, please, get some rest. We gotta move on. At this point, his legal team is requesting any information regarding the paternity of Kendrick Lamar's children, and also asking for any documents regarding DV between Kendrick Lamar and the mother of his kids. They're also asking that the CEO of UMG's emails be released because they believe that this was all a conspiracy to try to bring Drake down. At this point, it's given police. And I mean that quite literally. And what's so ironic about this is that if you look at the history of hip hop, it stands in direct opposition of the police, of policing people, of policing communities, and of what police have done to black people specifically. So at this point, it's very much giving that Drake is cosplaying being part of a culture. Like, your Karen is starting to show, and you get no cool points for that. At this point, you're writing strongly worded letters instead of just taking an L. Just say you lost. He even bringing up the rap beef that he had with Pusha T and saying that UMG or Def Jam censored Pusha T during the rap battle, but they didn't do the same with Kendrick Lamar. Like, you have to move on.
Drake has lost his mind, bro. This dude just got Kendrick's kids involved in this lawsuit, bro. He wants all the information between Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free from 2019 till now, including the relationship with Kendrick Lamar's children, bro. Are you serious? And that's not even counting the fact that he wants to see Kendrick Lamar's entire contract after pretending he knew about the contract and push-ups. And he also wants to see content creator DMs. Like, what is going on here, bro? This dude been putting out single after single after single since the battle happened and cannot get anything to land. So what is he doing now? Crashing out. Trying to make sure that this experience is the worst thing that Kendrick Lamar has been through in his career. Trying to make sure that everybody is uncomfortable. All because he lost the battle. And y'all be on here crying when people get on Drake or when I get on Drake. But he doing shit like this. Y'all crazy, bro.
Honestly, I can't respect anybody who continues to defend Drake. This is actually becoming pathetic. It already was pathetic, but Lowry continues to find new ways to become even more lame than he already is. This man is now requesting DNA tests to prove that Dave Free is not the father of Kendrick's children. We know this is Kendrick's son. He looks just like his dad. Not only that, Kendrick's son looked just like Kendrick's dad. But let's continue. Drake and his delusional fans will want you to believe that this is about him standing up for other artists. This whole lawsuit is self-serving. This is about him not being able to take an L. Because tell me, what does a DNA test have anything to do with this lawsuit? He's obsessed with Kendrick, and I'll tell you why. Drake has a direct deal with UMG and Kendrick does not. Kendrick has an independent deal through his label PG Lang, and he has distribution and publishing through UMG. So he doesn't have to do all the things that Drake does, whether it's tours and constantly put out music. Kendrick can do those things at his own pace. And let me tell you, all that music that came out during the beef, specifically Euphoria and Not Like Us, that was through PG Lang. Kendrick ran up a bag. Drake asking for the DNA test is not because he really truly believes that Dave Free is the father to Kendrick's children. No, he wants to get under Kendrick's skin. He wants a reaction from Kendrick, and he is going to get one. That man is evil. And I'm not talking about Drake. We talking about the boogeyman. I know for a fact that Drake is going to pay for bringing Kendrick's family into this lawsuit. I don't know how. I don't know when. But trust, Kendrick is not done with this man, and he's going to be out for blood.
This is nasty. Drake and his legal team are requesting some outlandish things from Kendrick Lamar and Kendrick Lamar's personal business. Bro, I can't believe what the fuck I'm reading in these documents, gang. I'm over this lawsuit. I'm completely over this lawsuit, bro. let's read some of the documentation that Drake and his legal team is requesting. From January 1st, 2014 to present, all documents and communications relating to allegations of domestic violence, violence against women, and or other forms of violence committed by Kendrick Lamar Duckworth. Document request number 51, from January 1st, 2019 to the present, all documents and communications relating to David Isaac Friley, aka Dave Free, and his relationship with Kendrick Lamar Duckworth and Kendrick Lamar Duckworth's children. Mr. I planted the evidence. Mr. I fed you the information. Mr. Everything I said here is all facts. Is asking UMG and Kendrick Lamar to provide proof or disproof of any alleged domestic violence that may have taken place involving Kendrick Lamar. Mr. Drizzy Drake and his legal team are requesting any communications and relations that prove or disprove any relations between Dave Free, Dave Friley, and Kendrick Lamar's children. This is nasty. Y'all keep saying this is about UMG. This has nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar. This nigga is a fucking dweeb, bro. He is a dweeb. Everything I'm reading, y'all want me to talk about the lawsuit. Bro, why you don't talk about Kojo? I don't give a fuck about Kojo. You don't care about Kojo. This nigga's a fucking dweeb. I've never in my life seen somebody lose a fight. I never seen somebody lose in a business transaction. I seen people go broke trading stock. I seen people get their pack stolen on a block. And I never seen nobody react like this before. This is nasty work, bro. This is nasty work. Fuck all the professionalism. And bro, this nigga's a dweeb, bro. This nigga's a dweeb. What are you even doing at this point? What's your end goal here? What happens? You lost the battle. All them stadiums was packed up and sold out. Everybody was singing the songs. The Super Bowl happened. I don't give y'all could talk bots, y'all could talk inflating, y'all could talk whatever y'all want. The fact will remain. The Grammys was won. It all happened, gang. It all happened, bro. What do y'all niggas want at this point? What do y'all want? It's over. It's over.
You know, for the life of me, I couldn't understand why Drake could not let this whole beef go. But after hearing the new things he's petitioned the courts for and included in his lawsuit, I think I figured it out. So I don't know if it was over the weekend or maybe it was this morning, but two things have happened. Drake's lawyers petitioned Sony for Kendrick Lamar's, it's not Sony. Who is he signed to? Whoever he's fucking signed to, UMG for Kendrick Lamar's contract, which they sent in heavily redacted because half the shit is irrelevant. If it's irrelevant to the case, you can black that out, which is what they did. But also, he's included Kendrick Lamar's children and Dave Free and asked UMG to provide any proof of domestic violence and paternity. And it's literally not funny. But I have figured out what the fuck is Drake's hang up. It's apparent to me that Drake thinks that if he can prove that he was right, then that means he actually won the beef. Nobody cares if both of y'all was lying. We literally don't care. We do not care. We don't care. That doesn't mean you didn't get out-rapped. It does not mean that. Because quite frankly, Not Like Us never had to come out. He won the beef with Meet the Grams. You had already lost. And he just smacked that as the home run. And it just happened to be a 5 Grammy Award winning hit. I've been saying this for over a year now. I really just want Drake to let it go. Like, your new album is coming out. You're starting the rollout for your new album and you're still doing it. It's not gonna stop. Literally stop. Just, if you want to say that them people have bots, if that's what the lawsuit is really about, it's clearly not really about that. He does not care about that. He knows that now, personally, I don't think that they're about to Not Like Us just because I was outside last summer. I physically, with my own 2 ears, heard it walking down the street, people blasting out their cars at the club on the radio. I physically heard that. So I don't necessarily know if there are bots involved. But even if there were, that would mean that there are bots involved in your career. So now what? What is it that you would like to prove? You did not win. None of this is going to change that. Bots or not, doesn't matter, because we all heard with our own 2 ears him call your daddy a bitch. Like, what the fuck? We heard him with our own 2 ears tell your son to call him dad. You didn't say nothing nearly as you didn't even say nothing nearly close to that. Like, you lost. It's cool. It's totally fine. It's literally fine. Ask Jay-Z how to lose a beef and continue on with your career. If not, skyrocket it. How are you mad that you baited this man into an argument? That's why you don't bait people into arguments. This is actually why I don't let people bait me into arguments. Because I don't know how to fucking stop. I don't know how to fucking stop. Do not bait people into arguments and then get gagged when you lost. If you are pulling up, whether I don't care who babies them kids is, I don't care. But what are you gonna do when they pull out them 16-year-old girls? Maybe girls that you didn't even know was underage. What are you going to do? Do you want to ruin your career, or do you just want to? Can you just continue, please? Nobody wants you to keep doing this. In fact, just drop the whole lawsuit.
I realized that I created the Dave Free thing, but you're a lawyer, so there's some way, somehow, there's some documents showing the relationship between Dave Free and Kendrick's kids that show that the lie I made up is correct. So you need to ask for that. Is it Stacy? Is it? Why are they not singing along? Why are they? Okay, so hear me out. So the 20 songs that I've released, not charted, no one gives a fuck about those. It doesn't mean you're out. Doesn't mean you're out, Drake. Doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean that. Fake abs. We gonna get fake abs. Call the doctor right now. You're not hearing me, bro. They actively conspired against me. It's like Rico. But they could prove it. You see it? They can prove that they conspired because everybody loves me. I'm Drake. Everybody fucking loves me, bro. And you gonna sit here and try to tell me that, like, oh, Kendrick makes that little song and then everybody just all of a sudden jumps on the let's hate Drake wagon? No. It's because they conspired against me. I don't get how you. What do you mean no black American rappers will not be on my songs? Well, did you tell them that we'll pay extra? And they didn't. And they still said no. I don't want to call no white people. Thank you for his record deal. There's some shit in here about y'all conspiring against me, because ain't no fucking way don't nobody fucking like me. I'm fucking Drake. All of this is redacted. How am I supposed to be able to prove the point that y'all conspiring against me if you don't give me evidence that you were conspiring against me? That don't even make sense. Like, what?
From the moment that Drake lost this rap battle with Kendrick, he's been showing more and more about how so not the culture he is. In part of his new, legal pursuit against UMG and Kendrick, clearly Kendrick, because a lot of you kept saying is UMG, Drake is asking the courts to, force UMG to provide documentations pertaining to, Dave Free, who is Kendrick's, long-time collaborator, manager, creative director, all the sort of things. The relationship between Kendrick and his children, in essence, is asking the courts to force them to take a paternity test to prove whose children that is. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. How you bringing children into a lawsuit because you lost a rap beef? A rap beef, mind you, that you ensued. Drop. And now you're forcing the courts to provide paternity tests of whose kids that is. This is who you people are championing. This is who you people are championing as, the king of rap. The rap industry is nothing without Drake on top. Look at this antic. Look at his behavior. In all the documents, he also asked for communication to prove that Pusha T was censored. In other words, if you censored Pusha T, why didn't you censor Kendrick when he was going at me? This lawsuit is just a clear indication of how low Drake will stoop to find a win in anything. He lost the rap beef and he said, I'm going to try and win in courts, no matter how dirty and low I look. This is just shameful. This is shameful.
Tell Kendrick and Dave Free to take a DNA test right now. Take the test. Take the test. So everybody believe Kendrick ain't beat his bitch. Tell him prove it. I won't document. I heard a theory on Twitter about a situation that happened. They said I was doing this for hip hop and them artists. Fuck them artists, I'm doing this shit for me. This about Kendrick, fuck UMG, this about Kendrick. He ain't finna just keep whooping my ass so them kids don't look like Dave Free. So they don't look, he talked about me having a whole daughter.
I thought you fed him that information.
Well, listen, I did.
You brought up him beating Whitney and his kids not being his in Family Matters first.
That don't matter. He dropped like 10 minutes after me, which means he had a pre-recorded. Who the fuck you working for him or you working for me? I'ma mention a nigga woman every time I do a diss track. How they gotta react like that? They reacting like some hoes.
So Drake is now asking about Kendrick Lamar's kids in his lawsuit. Y'all, we already know that Drake has the big UMG lawsuit going on. And if you want to go against the machine, then go against the machine. But everybody was making it a point to say he was not going against Kendrick Lamar and he was not turning this rap beef into a lawsuit. However, after today, you cannot say the same. So he is now requesting for information from January 1st, 2014 up until now of any communications or allegations of Kendrick Lamar in a DV situation, any violence against women, and not just women, any violence or allegations of violence, period, from Kendrick Lamar. To me, that is some police ass shit. Now, to make matters worse, he is requesting all information from January 2019 up until now on the relationship between Dave Free and Kendrick Lamar. He's also requesting the relationship between Dave Free and Kendrick Lamar's children. You know, Drake was trying to put out that Dave Free was actually one of those kids' father and it was not Kendrick Lamar. Y'all, I feel like this is just going a little bit too far, because what does this have to do with the music and the bots and all the other stuff that they were saying at first? Now, Pusha T is also mentioning this in the story of Adidon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. They mentioned that all communications regarding that song. They also want to know who was involved with the whole Not Like Us video, the owl scene, the hopscotch scene, the storage containers, and basically the lyrics of the song all together. Y'all, this is getting way more messier than I even thought it would.
Okay, you commented, read number 49 of the lawsuit. He's asking UMG themselves to investigate Drake's criminal history, but you won't because it doesn't fit your narrative. And we're going to read it together because only one of us is really being biased here. Number 49 says, for January 1st, 2009 through the present, all documents and communications relating to Drake's criminal history or lack thereof, including background investigations, due diligence, inquiries, checks, and reports related to criminal records. Now, in legalese, it is important that they said criminal records twice. Whereas what he says in number 50 is to present all documentation and communications relating to allegations. And so what Drake is saying is, for me, check and see if I have any criminal history. Look in to see if I have any actual criminal record. For Kendrick, he says, look at the allegations of domestic violence. And then in 51, he says, any communication related to Dave Free and his relationship with Kendrick Lamar and Kendrick's kids. And so the narrative that you're trying to spin here is that I'm somehow not looking at these as equal, and they're not. Because Drake's legal team is not making them equal. Drake's legal team is saying, look at our criminal record. But for Kendrick, bring up any information you all have about potential allegations. Do you see how these two things aren't the same? And so in your mind, you want this to be that Drake's doing the right thing. But once again, what he's being is a bitch. And he's trying to litigate the rap beef that he lost in court. Because if he can prove in court that he somehow had more facts, he thinks that that means that he won. But the only thing he's going to win is a bitch award because he's being one. Because that's not how any of this works. He wants to be judged on a different curve than he's asking the court to judge Kendrick Lamar. And also, he won't just take this L and move forward. There's a precedent for it, but what he's doing is the unprecedented thing of legalizing conversations about music and the lyrics themselves in the music, which is anti-hip-hop. So I said what I said. And Thanks for coming on TED.
Drake's legal team has requested UMG to provide all documents on domestic violence allegations involving Kendrick Lamar and on Dave Freed's relationship with him and his children. Okay, if you're suing for defamation, why do you need documents involving Dave Freed's relationship with him and his kids? Also, how would UMG know that Kendrick's kids are his or not? Because I know they say record labels artists, but I don't think they mean that literally oftentimes. You know, I feel like that's just a metaphor, like a figure of speech. So how, anyway, so if you're suing for defamation, then I guess Kendrick could sue you for defamation? I actually doubt Kendrick could sue for anything said in a rap beef, let alone anybody in the history of hip hop would ever sue for anything said during a rap beef. Except for the boy, you know, he got to make history. What else can I expect from the same person who went on radio interviews talking about the control verse with the harsh words said in it instead of getting in the booth and rapping? But then you would already have like the proof. You would already have the proof to show that what you were saying was true. So why do you now need the proof from UMG to show the proof that you claim to already hit? I don't know what's going on. I just know this nigga. I can't say it. I can't say what. I don't know what's going on. This some lame ass bitch made shit. Is all I see. That's it. I
need all the DNA tests of Kendrick Lamar's kids. Kendrick Lamar was beating his girl. I know it. You guys have the paperwork. Let me see it. Come on. I'm dying here.
Thanks for riding the wave. More hits coming soon. Please subscribe, like, and share.